it relates to the situation in Gaza in the Middle East. Last week, of course, we well covered the story of the New York Times running a photo on its front page that was a complete and total hoax. The photo was designed to make you believe that there was mass starvation of children directly at the hands of Israel, and the photo was cropped, and the child was not starving. He, in fact, had a pre-existing health condition that made him appear the way that he did. Well, that was one newspaper in New York City. Another, better newspaper in New York City, called the New York Post, over the weekend had the courage to run a front page photo of one of the hostages that is still being held in the Gaza terror tunnels. The man is clearly being starved. He is clearly being tortured. And in this video that was released by the terrorists of this hostage, you can see this man being forced to dig his own grave. Absolute barbarism, what happened on October the 7th and what is taking place to this day against these hostages that are still being held in the Gaza terror tunnels. Well, anyway, the New York Post took a screen capture from that video, and they put it on the front page of their newspapers with the headline, "Hamas ghouls force hostage to dig his own grave, starved of humanity." So we've got two big newspapers in New York City, folks. One is running pictures on the front page that are a hoax, which they later then had to admit was a hoax. They had to correct and admit to their readers that, hey, we're simply a propaganda machine for Hamas and we're trying to mislead you. They admitted it, albeit in the quietest possible way. And then you got the New York Post with the courage to tell the truth. So congratulations to the editors of the New York Post. Some more comments on this over the weekend. Let's actually hear from Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton when it comes to understanding who's responsible for any humanitarian issues in Gaza. Here's Cotton.
Mark, it's just another example of how Hamas can count on an international media and political chorus to do its dirty work for them. I don't think any decent person can see the heartbreaking images of malnourished children in Gaza and not feel badly about it. I feel that way, you do. Israelis feel that way. But there's one party to blame for any children who are malnourished in Gaza, and that's Hamas. Hamas for years has used food as a weapon. It commandeers aid, it prioritizes its own fighters, it uses it to control its own people. Yet now you have way too many people in the United States and in Europe who are buying this hook, line, and sinker, sometimes open propaganda. The New York Times, for instance, ran a heartbreaking photo of a child who was afflicted with a terrible disease and passed it off as a child who had been malnourished because of Israel's actions. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Israel has delivered hundreds of thousands of tons of supplies since the beginning of this war. Our great ambassador in Israel, Mike Huckabee, was just there last week with the president's envoy, Steve Witkoff. They saw the aid that could be delivered today.
Tom Cotton from Arkansas telling the truth about what's going on in the situation in Israel. We're going to come back in just a few minutes with Michael Ellis, the Deputy Director of the CIA. Before we go, though, I did want to tell you that if you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, you're overpaying for wireless, period. You're paying thousands of dollars a year for retail stores you'll never go into. You're paying for perks you don't use. You're paying a massive premium for what you think is superior service, but it really isn't. Well, guess what? You can lower your bills by switching to Pure Talk. You'll be on the same 5G network, the same 5G towers, and I'm telling you, as of today, I'm a Pure Talk customer. The coverage is great. The customer service team is excellent. I think you should switch. For $25 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data. Do it for me, Scott Jennings. Switch to Pure Talk. Coming up, Michael Ellis, Deputy Director of the CIA. You're live on Salem with the Scott Jennings Show. If you are with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, you are overpaying for wireless, period. You're paying for thousands of retail stores you never go into. You're paying for unnecessary perks that you never use, and you're paying a massive premium for what you think is superior 5G service. Well, guess what? Pure Talk uses the same 5G network on the same 5G towers. The only difference, they don't charge you for any of the garbage. I'm proud to say that I am now a Pure Talk customer. The coverage is great, and they're U.S. customer service team, excellent. And I encourage you to make the switch too. For just $25 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data. Half the cost of the big guys. Do this. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say keyword Scott Jennings, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. You can be switched over to Pure Talk in less than 10 minutes. Dial pound 250 and then say keyword Scott Jennings to switch to Pure Talk, my wireless company, America's wireless company.
If you're a caregiver, you must have a million questions. If you're a friend of a caregiver, if someday you will be a caregiver, well, guess what? There are answers. I'm Ron Aaron. Carol Zornell is with me on the next Caregiver SOS on it. We find answers, Carol.
We do. We talked to Julia Mayer and Barry Jacobs on their latest book. It serves as a roadmap that every caregiver will want to follow.
On the next Caregiver SOS on air. Caregiver SOS on air this Saturday morning at 7:30. Only on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Summer storms, grid failures, things that can knock out power to your home. Just not your problem when you've got the Generac Home Standby Generator. Get one from Generator Supercenter, the #1 dealer. Expert installation, 24-hour monitoring. Generator Supercenter will never leave you in the dark. You have financing if you need it. 3 DFW locations, 972-779-6297. 972-779-6297. Get one for your home today. The power stays on with Generator Supercenter. Breaking news, stimulating talk. This is 660 AM. The Answer.
Cloudy skies, 86 degrees. I'm Nikki Whaley. White House economic advisor Kevin Haslett is defending President Trump's move to fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics following a weak jobs report.
In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, Haslett echoed statements made by the president questioning the accuracy of the numbers.
There have been a bunch of patterns that can make people wonder, and I think the most important thing for people to know is that it's the president's highest priority that the data be trusted and that people get to the bottom of why these revisions are so unreliable.
The report said the U.S. economy added just 73,000 jobs last month, which is well below estimates. Trump took to social media and implied the labor statistics chief manipulated the data for political purposes. I'm Mark Neville.
About 60% of millennials and Gen Zers blame their social life for hurting their financial goals. A new survey from Ally Bank also found that 42% of them report overspending on their social budget several months out of the year. Ally's survey revealed most American adults covet social time, with nearly 70% saying they meet with friends in person at least once a week.
50% off of what you're paying now off the big guys. So Pure Talk Wireless, they're my wireless company. They're America's wireless company, and it would be